This is Two Blokes in a Pod.
Hey, what is that?
The podcast where, well, it's a bit of this, a bit of that.
I don't understand.
Just blokey laughs and blokey chats.
Okay.
Whatever it is, let's get started.
What's going on, mate?
Are you okay?
No.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
This is a welfare check. I'm checking in on you as my co-host, as a friend, as a brother. Are you okay?
Look, I was, through the week last week, I was confident. Not confident. I was comfortable with going to Sydney. You know, not me personally, like the Port. We're talking about AFL here, guys. Port getting the job done against Sydney. All the stats were there. Won the last 8. Our last meeting, we beat them over 100 points. So I took it upon myself to put my name in the ballot for grand final tickets. Organised accommodation with Katrina's cousin in Melbourne. He lives 10 minutes away from the G, walking distance. So I thought, everything's good. Dimitri was excited. We're going to go for a road trip with my brother-in-law. And, rocked up because it was my sister's fiance's birthday. So we went there for dinner for his birthday, along with his other sisters and my other sisters. And, I just said, look, you better have a TV there, you know. We're going to watch the game. It's pretty confident. Rocked up in my Port kit. His sister, he's got 2 sisters. One's a diehard Port head and the other one's a diehard Crows head. She rocked up, the Crows supporter rocked up in her Crows gear. The other one rocked up in her Port gear. So, like, the scene was set, you know what I mean? And we just didn't get the job done. So I was pretty gutted about that.
I just got one thing to say. Banner high, the thunder from the sky. Look, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Sydney did. They shook down the thunder.
They did.
The Port Power thunder.
They did.
The thunderbolt came crashing down to earth, and you know what it said?
What's that?
Sucked in.
Yeah, that was...
But do you want a positive? Do you want one positive out of this situation?
Tell me what was the positive?
One Australian gets to keep his job this weekend.
Who's that?
Well, Ken Hinkley gets to keep his job.
I thought you said...
whereas someone we're about to discuss doesn't get to keep his job.
Well,
so
I thought you said that was a positive.
Oh, it is a positive. Give him another 10 years. Ken Hinkley.
Oh, gee whiz.
He's the best thing that's ever happened to you guys. You've won 2 quarters of a final in this final series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And how many quarters did the Crows win in these final series?
Why does everyone automatically assume that I am a diehard Crows supporter? Don't know what...
You know what? What are you?
I don't know what vibes I give off to anyone.
Oh, okay.
I've said it so many times on this podcast. I'm actually not an AFL supporter.
Okay.
And if I was to choose a team, it would be Carlton, only because growing up, all my fucking relos and cousins loved Carlton. And if I have to pick between Crows and Port, I would pick Crows only purely because they are a team for all South Australians.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, what?
The mighty Adelaide Crows. They are a team for all South Australians.
I am not going to get into this conversation because you don't know the history, mate.
Adelaide. Port, P-O-R-T. Port. The Port of Adelaide. I don't live down the Port of Adelaide. I have a whole full set of teeth. I don't have anything to do with Port Adelaide. So if I was an AFL supporter, it would not be for Port Adelaide.
Listen.
But I love giving people like you shit because you guys bite back so hard. I mean, I'm going to give you an example of the shit stirring that I love causing, okay? And just tell me how fucking pathetic you Port Power supporters are with responses like this, okay? So on Friday night, where is it? On Friday night, somewhere, there we go. I posted a picture of a swan looking at the camera.
Yes, you did.
Right?
I
Right
did
there.
see that.
Yes. I didn't tag anyone. All I wrote was just flying by to say hi.
You're gaslighting people,
Okay.
mate. You're gaslighting people.
Then in the following post, I wrote, out of curiosity, if you are a Port Power supporter, have you got up and left the venue you are watching the game at after that display? It's 3/4 time, perfect time to vanish. That is purely an outsider's opinion on the fact that Port Power completely went fucking missing after that first quarter. Right?
What time is it?
Okay? That's all I'm going to say. And now, these are some of the responses. Oh, look, the keyboard warrior is back. Other responses, 15th.
Yeah, that's correct.
Again, this bloke assumed that I am a Crow supporter.
Because Valandir,
And
people
then-
assume that because the only people that have that make the effort are Crows supporters.
You seem pretty invested to what Port are up to for not following real football. And I said, yeah, likewise on your investment and energy responding to my shit stirring, mate.
So you gaslighted.
He
You
had
gaslighted.
no comeback to that.
I just didn't
Let's have a
even
look. What else did we have?
react to your
Other people. See, decent response. I turned it off at halftime. That was shit. It was over way before then. Good luck next year, Power. That was from a Power supporter.
Why am I listening to this trash? Why?
Give Hinkley another 5 years.
Yeah.
Here we go. Someone just randomly out of nowhere, fuck off Malacca. That was the only words he said on there. So I posted back the picture of the swan.
So
And then he wrote back going,
I mean, look, that's what I was thinking when I saw your post. That's I'm not going to lie to you.
but
I was in my heart. I'm thinking, fuck this guy, fuck off Malacca. That's what I was thinking, but I just didn't post it.
yeah, and that's fine. And I would have unleashed and ripped into you tonight for doing that. But you didn't do that. But I'm still going to unleash and rip into you because let's face it, the Power are shit. And they were never, ever. I said it. I called it last week. Did I not call it last week? Let's go back to last week's episode. I'll find a recording and we will go to last week's episode where I said to you, there is no way the Power are going to Sydney and coming away with a win.
Look, we're not shit. We made it to the prelim.
But you weren't going to go further. You just made it to the prelim. You lost the first series game, the first finals
Qualifying
right?
round, yep.
You lost that. That was your perfect opportunity to prove to Australia that you mean business, but you did not mean business because you got completely ass fucked by Geelong Cats that night, right? Which just got ass fucked themselves by the Brisbane Lions. That means that the Lions are bigger cats than the Geelong Cats. But, I know, very bad joke.
Yeah, jeez.
But there was no way, there was absolutely no way you guys were going to get away with the Swans. You got away with the Hawks, just 5 points.
And to be fair, they were in good form leading up to the finals.
You brought back Dixon and he completely dicked you.
Now listen, Dixon, I don't know what Hinkley was thinking. Dixon needs to chow. Okay? I am on board with that. Dixon has been absolutely shit all season, and I don't know how he still has a spot in our squad. Anyway, whatever.
Do you know what? I think this episode is going to be brought to you by
This is Blokes Bits.
just a whole episode of Blokes Bits, okay?
I think so.
Now,
Because there was a lot of
Where
sporting.
do you go? Where do you go from here?
Port.
I don't give a shit, but where do you go from here?
Dixon needs to go, right? Well, Hinckley's contracted for another year, all right? So
Yes, but
Dixon-
what's stopping the club from ending him early?
because they can't afford to pay him out. They can't afford to pay him out. So that's why he's there, right? They haven't renewed his contract, whatever. This is his last, next year is his last season. And Josh Carr will take over. Once Josh Carr takes over, I see us being in a good spot. Dixon's, he has to go. People are calling for Bokey's head. It's like because he had a poor game on Friday
but
night.
I
But
also-
overall, this season he's been awesome.
He has, but again, I just think that he's another one. Time to go.
Nah,
Yeah, I think. Look, man, he should have retired a couple years ago. I get it; he's still okay, but he's not a Ronaldo. He's not a Cristiano Ronaldo where he can like perform week in, week
you
out.
know what it is? He's my favorite player, Bokey. Right, I have a real soft spot for him because when the tarps were out, he could have pissed off back to Geelong because he's from Geelong and they were ripping it up when we were doing shit, and he's stuck with us. We owe him that.
You really love doing Volandis, don't you?
Why is that?
Man, you've said that
I know
on
I've
this
said
podcast
that.
about
You
4
know,
times.
I know I've said that, but he shouldn't go just based on one poor performance of the whole year. Really? Come on. You're gonna sit here and tell me that what if you have one poor game, he's got to get the boot? Nah.
Not sure if you are aware, but right this minute, the Brownlows are being
Yeah, I know. I'm peaking.
conducted.
Yes, they are.
And the current, this is
Where do you find that?
this is 4 minutes ago.
yeah.
4 minutes ago, the update was Isaac Heaney from Sydney on 19, Patrick Cripps from Carlton on 16, Tom Green, GWS on 15, and Petrarca from Melbourne on 14. That's the top 4 at the moment.
Where are you watching that? Because I was trying to find it.
It's on.
Oh, here we go. Yeah,
what website is this?
I got it here. So Isaac.
Oh no,
Heaney
it's on the AFL app.
on the AFL.
Yeah, live blog on the AFL app. Yeah. So all right, predictions this weekend. What do you think?
I reckon Brizzy will take it.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love
Because
to
they
see.
haven't won a flag since 03. So yeah, I would like Brisbane to win.
Yeah.
Far away from Melbourne, very far away from Melbourne. Because
Well, it's
Sydney
great.
is pretty much south.
I mean, this is a proper final this week. There's no home ground advantage to either side.
Yep. And you know what? If Port went through, it would have been so easy to get tickets because there's no Melbourne support. Because actually, did we talk about the numbers last week? So MCC members, so members of the MCG, there's 67,000 tickets.
Oh, really?
67,000 members.
Oh, wow.
So they've got first
So
right
if
of
they
rate.
don't want to go,
then it gets
then they release
distributed.
it to public.
Correct. Yeah. So whoever entered the ballot, would have known today if they got tickets. So they have 67,000 people have right of passage. Other than what the MCG holds 101,000, I think, or 100,
Yeah,
just under 101,000.
Yeah.
So do the math.
There'll be a lot of interstate travellers, that's for sure.
Not from Adelaide.
Yeah, well, unless you're a Sydney or Brisbane supporter from Adelaide.
Yeah, maybe.
But there you go. That's the AFL wrap for the week. Yeah, I'd like to see Brisbane win it, but really, I don't care. I really don't care. As whether it goes to Sydney, whether it goes to Brisbane, I don't care. In other big news, what the fuck is Football Australia thinking?
What's that, mate?
Have you not caught up with today's news?
No.
They've signed Popovich.
Oh, yeah, I
as
heard
head
that. Yeah,
coach.
sorry. Yeah, no, I heard that.
What is Australia thinking?
Well, who are they going to put in?
Mate, you know what? I think it's about time those dickheads over there at Football Australia put their hands in their pockets and go and invest in a proper coach. Okay?
Listen.
Graham Arnold didn't take us places.
No.
Popovich is not going to take us places.
Absolutely not.
Okay? It's a boys' club.
Yes.
And it will not improve the sport here in this country.
Who is available right now?
I'm sure.
What manager is available
I'm
right now?
sure that there are some people out there that would be much better option.
Who? Who's available? Who's not contracted right now?
I don't
That's
know,
a
man,
decent
but
coach.
I would think any fucking European coach would be better than the shit that we provide here.
Yeah, well, that just goes to show that we will never be a country that takes soccer seriously. Really. And we've said it before in juniors and like just local clubs, how high all the fees are. If you want to go play soccer, how high the fees are. You go play like AFL footy, how low the fees are. Why is that? Because they all get help from everywhere, right? If you're playing AFL footy, you get that. They get, it's like what, $200 for the year?
Not even.
$150?
Not even.
They probably pay you to bloody play if you're a junior. There's no help. There's no help from the government whatsoever to subsidise. Oh, there's $100 sports voucher, but that's it. There's no help to run a club at all. Like the council doesn't help out really that much to help subsidise electricity costs, running costs, all that sort of stuff. To help, run a club. The money associated to run a club is ridiculous, and there's no help. And that's why at grassroots level all the way up to, professional, it will never be, we'll never be like the Premier League or the La Liga or Serie A, Bundesliga, anything like that. We'll never be like that because there's not enough money to attract top talent, and there's not enough money to invest in producing homegrown talent. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's my opinion anyway. I might be completely wrong and whatever, but that's why, since like really Gus Hiddink and Ange, who else have we ever had that's fucking awesome?
We could have still had Ange.
Or if they didn't burn him out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that, like, I just
He just
think
looked exhausted come time for the World Cup.
the Football Federation here in Australia don't understand the sport well enough.
That's a big call.
And they expect everything from their coaches and their management, but they don't understand the concept of the game.
No.
Let's face it.
No.
People on boards and committees and stuff like that, they're not football people.
I don't know.
Like, gone are the days where football people actually ran the Football Federation. Back in the old days where, what's his name? The guy that used to own Westfields. He started the A-League. Oh, my God, I've got blank now.
Let's keep talking. I'll look it up.
Anyway, gone are the days. Anyway, football here in Australia is, I just feel is becoming non-existent. It's a shock. It's disappointing. It's gutting. Here we are as dads trying to mentor and coach kids in a game that we love so much. We grew up with.
I think we've got more passion than the heavies do, man. Honestly.
Yeah. And, like I went on the weekend and I watched the under-14s and under-16s Comets boys in the cup final, right? They both had they both made the grand final in their league. And the amount of skill and passion that I saw out there on that field at that age was tear-jerking. Like, I loved it. I loved it. The passion from the parents, from the supporters. Mate, Service FM Stadium, the grandstand was full.
Oh, it's brilliant.
With supporters for under-16s,
Brilliant.
right? Amazing. Amazing. But again, unless these kids have that international talent, where do they go next? They've got nowhere to go. Nothing to do, nothing to produce. Like it just, it sucks. It sucks.
And this is where we get having the manager of Australia. No good. No good. No good at all.
Anyway, time will tell what Popper's going to do. But his next big test is in October on the 10th here in Adelaide Oval against China, a qualifying game. Must win. They are currently sitting second to last in their group and possibly looking like they're not going to qualify for the next World Cup.
We'll have to see, won't we? How many games are left?
Well, they've played each other once now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I think they've got one game left each on the return leg. So we'll see. We'll see. But staying on football, EPL, we'll start with earlier in the week, weekend, should I say, because, I've got a lot to talk about this morning. But just bringing it up here. So, obviously, jam-packed weekend starting on Saturday with West Ham Chelsea. Chelsea comfortably got a win, 3-0. Aston Villa 3-1 over the Wolves. Fulham 3-1 over Newcastle United.
Fulham and Newcastle, right? So Newcastle was supposed to be the next Manchester City, right? With the backing that they've got. Mate, they have not lived up to the hype. Really, have they?
No.
And it just goes to show that it doesn't matter how much money you've got, doesn't guarantee you success. Like, even let's say with Chelsea, mate, they've been throwing hundreds of millions of dollars, and look how
really the only success story has been Man City
and Chelsea back in the day.
Yeah.
So obviously Abramovich, even with Chelsea back in the day, they were doing something correct with all the money in the world. And now this guy's probably just got as much money as Abramovich had, and they're doing jack shit.
Yeah.
The same with Newcastle. They're multi billionaires, sheiks or whatever they're called, and look at them.
Yeah. Well, money doesn't always mean stuff. But so I'm just going to go to this game here. Fulham United versus Newcastle United. Okay. Ever since this guy has departed Arsenal and joined Fulham, he's ripped week in, week out.
Yeah, but
Emil Rose-Smith, absolutely ripped. He scored another goal, and another ex-Arsenal product, Reece Nelson, scored their third goal. I mean, I'm loving what they're doing, but it's like, why didn't we give them?
And Leno's still their keeper too.
Why didn't we give them the opportunity to?
Yeah, but who are you going to replace? Who are you going to, let's say with Smith Rowe? What was he? What position was he?
Left wing.
Let's have a look.
Left mid.
Left mid. Okay, so who are you going to take off?
Well,
Martinelli.
Yeah, he was a direct replacement for Martinelli. But look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow cards on Saturday night to Fulham United. 7 yellow cards.
Yep.
This now, I believe, is just becoming a joke. This whole, don't touch the ball, and it's a fucking joke. And we're going to get into that in a second. Because,
yes.
All right, continuing on. Leicester City, Everton 1-0. Liverpool 3-0 against Bournemouth.
You still had Southampton and Ipswich.
We haven't got there yet.
Oh, yeah.
So Diaz double and Nunez hammering in the third, thanks to Mohamed Salah. Southampton, Ipswich 1-0. Great result there for the newcomers. Tottenham 3-1 against Brentford.
That's a good result.
That's a very good result. Solanke scoring his first goal. Madison scoring another goal. And oh no, hang on, did Solanke score twice? Oh no, and Johnson scoring the second goal. And then we had Crystal Palace, Man United, 0-0.
Boring game that was. I watched that.
Wow. Man United not being able to score against Crystal Palace. Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, 2-0. And then, yes,
No, Brighton. You mean Brighton and Forest?
Brighton and
Did you see the highlights for that game?
for the Brighton game.
Yeah.
No.
3 red cards.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, wow. Hang on. Yeah.
look at this. Both managers got sent off.
Oh, no. I did not see that.
Both managers got sent off.
Both coaches.
And player as well.
Wow.
For Forest, yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it was a bit hectic.
Did the coaches punch on or something?
No. So they
Because they both got sent off at the same time.
Yeah, so the red card, they were like obviously appealing, like, what the fuck, for this red card, and then they got both sent off. Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of red cards this season.
Yeah, I think
And it's not fair at all. I think it's pathetic. But that leads me into this morning's game. 2-0, Man City at home against Arsenal. Yeah, that was all right. Erling Haaland on the 6th, ninth minute.
You didn't watch the game.
I watched the highlights.
Yeah.
I honestly could not get up for the game.
So this is how I go about it, right? When it's like a 1 a.m. Sunday game or 1 a.m. Monday morning game, I'll turn off all like notifications. When I wake up in the morning, I go straight to the Optus Sport app and I watch the highlights without knowing the results. So I'm living like this whole thing. And when at 9 minutes I saw Haaland score, I'm like, oh, here we go. We're going to get pumped here. And it wasn't the case.
Well, Calafiore,
What a ripper
that
goal.
was fucking phenomenal.
Now, while that goal was amazing, do you think Kyle Walker got hard done by there?
Yeah, I saw the highlights there. The referee had no idea what the fuck he was doing. Definitely. And I'm saying this as an Arsenal supporter, Walker got done hard.
Yeah. I'll take it, but he got dicked.
Yeah. And then, so on the 34th minute, Trossard gets a yellow. A few minutes later, Saka crosses in another beautiful corner. Gabriel perfectly, second game in a row.
Back to back.
Lifts that head up and bangs it in. 2-1 to the Gunners. And then Trossard gets sent off on the 45th plus 8 minute.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And did you see the yellow? Did you see what he did?
Yeah, it was bullshit.
It was complete, utter fucking bullshit. This new rule is pathetic. I hate it. It's bullshit.
Look.
And it needs to be looked into and changed ASAP.
Look, I get it. Like, it's total crap, right? But we know the fucking rule. Just don't touch the fucking ball, man. Don't touch the ball. It's a stupid rule, but it's a rule. Just don't touch it. But it is. I agree with you 100%. It's bullshit.
So, Miles Lewis Skelly gets a yellow, and he wasn't even on the pitch at the time.
Yeah, what the fuck happened there?
Yeah, he wasn't even on the pitch on the time. Mind you, Ben White got subbed in for Saka on the 46th minute. Did he go out with injury? I didn't even see that.
No, I think just with Trossard getting red carded, we thought, maybe just park the bus.
Park the bus, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Declan Rice gets a yellow on the 83rd. And then Jesus comes on 87th minute and he gets a yellow 96th minute.
Yeah.
And then the fuckers equalise on the 98th minute. Man, way too much time.
Okay.
Way too much fucking extra time. It's
Just before I got here, I saw an interview with Arteta, and there was this one question by this journo, and he goes, "Do you think that the extra time was added based on you trying to waste time, like with subs and shit?" And he goes, "No comment. I'm not commenting this. I have my opinion, but I'm not commenting. Next question, please." He was furious. He was furious.
And then Pep got a yellow. Pep got a yellow on the 98th minute. Obviously, that was probably for celebrating too hard.
Probably.
Yeah. But 4 yellows, 1 red card. What the fuck is going on in our game?
I don't know, man. I think the
I-
refs are on a power trip.
So I came across this today, and I thought, perfect opportunity to read it out. So approximately 1 year ago, Michael Oliver, the referee, gets flown to the United Emirates to referee 1 match, and it was reported that he got paid £20,000 for that 1 match by the owners of Manchester City. Obviously,
heard
the
this
owners
before.
of Manchester City are,
I've heard this before.
they're Saudi Arabians. Now, let's look back at how many games he's refereed Man City and see what has happened in these games.
You've really thought about this, haven't you?
I'm sure you guys can name specific instances like the soft yellow cards this morning for Arsenal, or not giving yellow cards for the same offence to City players. Anyone
saw
else
that.
a little suspicious?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I looked deeper into it. And do you know, in a previous game against Man City, that there was a situation where Kovacic should have been sent off, but he wasn't. Same referee. Conspiracy?
No.
Or am I just being a typical Arsenal supporter?
No. It's not a conspiracy. If it's fucking true, they're not coincidence, mate. There's no coincidence in football, mate. I'm telling you. There is
It's all
some bullshit
scripted.
going on.
It's all scripted.
100%. There is something going on, and where there's smoke, there is fire, my friend. I'm telling you, there is fire.
What do you think about Man City and all these fines that they're meant to be getting? The last I read is that they're going to be docked 30 points over previous seasons.
But they're going to keep their championship.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to because, it's just too much of a ripple effect.
They're gonna get deducted points.
They're going to get deducted 30
From this
points
po-
from
this
this season, but also they're going to get deducted points for previous seasons that would technically relegate them, but it's too hard. That was a recommendation. Sorry, they're not going to, but the recommendation was that they would get reducted points from previous seasons. But the ripple effect was way too hard because then you'd have to go back to the years that they won the league, the champions stuff, everything. It would cause too much of a ripple effect. But this season, they're saying they'll get docked 30 points.
I don't think it's enough.
115 offences and only 30 points.
Even if they get deducted, even if they got deducted a point, a charge, it's 115 points. That's relegation, mate.
Yeah.
That's not unreasonable. A point a charge. Simple. How many charges did Everton have last year when they got deducted like this 10 points?
Oh,
Fuck all.
what? 5? 4 or 5?
2 points a charge?
And they got fucked over.
2 points a charge. Okay, why doesn't Man City have 2 points a charge? You know what I mean? That's 330 points. They're going bloody League One, mate. Sorry. Too lenient. Money talks.
It does.
Anyway,
And talking about money, should we move into
yeah.
the depressing news today?
Yes.
Well, not really news because nothing is official, but last night
Our boy.
we watched the Singapore Grand Prix.
Yep.
Not as an entertaining race as it has been previous weeks. Lando pretty much ran away with it. He actually got a good start, and he kept pole position for the whole race.
Mate,
He was on fire yesterday.
I don't know what was going on there. He was just ripping it up.
Yeah, he was completely
And the
just.
thing is, like even with Lewis, I think he got fucked over a little bit. Lewis, with his team,
He did Lewis, and you could hear it on the
right?
on the mics.
I get why they started him off on soft tires, but it didn't work. He was Norris was still pulling away. So what is it? The car. He's not a shit driver. So what's going on?
Mercedes have had hot and cold weeks. I think Singapore was much more suited to cars like McLaren and Red Bull. That's why Verstappen was probably the next closest.
20.94 seconds
Yeah.
away, Verstappen from Norris.
And what was Piastri to Verstappen?
21. So because when it's a final result, so Verstappen was 20 seconds away from the lead. Piastri was 41 seconds away from the lead. Russell was 61 seconds away from the lead.
So we're talking 20-second gaps between the top four.
Yeah. And then Leclerc, 62, so 1 second behind Russell.
Shocking race for Ferrari.
Yeah.
Very bad race.
But then you had Hamilton, 85. So from the gap between him and Russell was like 24 seconds. That's ridiculous.
It was an absolute shocker. But
And the rest of them, from 8 down, they were all lapped.
yeah.
How
Crazy.
crazy is that?
So this is a quote I found from yesterday's race, and I'm going to let you guess who said this quote. But I try to be optimistic, but today was a very pessimistic day. So I might go drown in my ice bath. You'll find me there tomorrow, floating.
Who would say that?
That was said by Daniel Ricciardo.
I thought I was going to say Daniel Ricciardo. I thought that'd be too obvious.
I actually had to shed some tears myself today after watching the post-race interviews.
Yeah, that was sad. That was so sad.
Mate, I get it. There's a lot of people out there saying that, he shouldn't be in the sport anymore. But you know what? Let's face it. Daniel Ricciardo, whether you do agree with this or not, he might not be the fastest driver at the moment. He definitely is doing the best he can with a shit car and a shit team. But he is the face of this sport. People have started loving Formula One because of Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
Right? Netflix and the Drive to Survive is popular because of Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I'm not understanding. And if last night was his final race, then I feel gutted for him that he hasn't had the opportunity for a proper farewell. Right? Now, that's why I don't believe it is his last race.
What's the next race?
The next race is in 4 weeks in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
But I just don't understand why the team would do that. Like, if this was going to be his final race, fucking announce it the week before and say, this is Daniel Ricciardo's final race. They've left him hanging. He has no idea what's going on. I mean, I think he does know what's going on after the way that, he was responding today. Mate, he was in tears in his
Interviews,
post
yeah.
interview today.
So explain to me again why this may be his last race for those who don't really get it.
Okay. So
Break it down.
Daniel Ricciardo was sacked by McLaren 2 years ago.
Correct.
Okay. He then signed on as Red Bull's third driver. So we're talking the Verstappen Perez team, Red Bull, Oracle Red Bull. He signed up as their third driver. The sister team to Red Bull, which was then AlphaTauri and then changed to Red Bull Visa, V-Carb, whatever it's called, Visa Cash App, Red Bull Racing Bulls. They at the time had Yuki Tsunoda and
Who was that other guy before? Danny Rick.
oh my God. No, it wasn't Sargent.
Whoever it was. Yeah. It's killing you.
It is. Fuck. Jesus. Anyway, whatever. So they dropped him because he was not performing at all, right? And they bought in Danny Ricciardo halfway through the season. Okay?
Yeah.
This is last year now.
Correct.
So he did all right for the remainder of that season, even by breaking his wrist. He did all right. Okay? So they kept him on for this year.
Yep.
The reserve driver to the Racing Bulls is Liam Lawson, the New Zealander, young kid, 21 years old, right? Great kid, good skill, doesn't put in the times that Danny can and Yuki can, but he's got a clause now in a sign-up contract where Red Bull have to make the decision to sign him by the end of September, or he can go out and look elsewhere and put his hand up for another team.
Is that Red Bull Oracle, or it could be
No, Racing Bull. So, well, the Racing Bull team, right?
could be any of them?
Yeah. So there's 4 drivers. Let's be frank. Those 2 teams is actually one team. There's the main team and there's the sister team,
B team.
the baby team, right? So Liam Lawson has a clause where he needs to be confirmed by the end of September, or he's going to go out looking elsewhere.
Yeah.
In that clause as well, he has to have at least 5 races this year. Okay? There's 6 races remaining on the calendar. So you've got Austin, you've got Miami, you've got Mexico, you've got Brazil, and then you've got Abu Dhabi and the last one in
Qatar.
Qatar. Yeah.
Is it?
No, not Qatar. We've already done Qatar. But the last 2 are in the Middle East.
Middle East.
Okay?
Saudi Arabia. No, not Saudi Arabia. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I think it is Saudi Arabia and
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So, I believe that this week they're going to make an announcement where they're pretty much going to say Danny Ricciardo is done with the Racing Bulls, and they're putting Liam Lawson in there. What I think is going to happen is they're going to then put Danny Ricciardo back as a reserve driver for the Red Bull Oracle team. Now, here's where it gets a bit tricky.
How old's Ricardo?
Ricciardo's 34 years old,
Okay.
right? He's the oldest, the second oldest on the grid after Alonso.
Alonso, yeah.
Yeah. So Alonso, Danny, Hamilton, and then the rest are pretty young. Oh, hang on. K-Mags
Yeah.
and
I was gonna say,
Hulkenberg.
there might be a few others.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the tricky part now is there's a lot of rumors that Sergio Perez is suggesting he might be retiring at the end of the season and moving away from the sport to have more family time. His wife's about to pop out a 4th child, so he wants to stay home a bit more in Mexico.
Fair enough. Let's be honest, he's fucking shit anyway.
After this weekend, I don't even know how he's still driving. I actually don't. He's fucking shit.
Where did he finish in qualifying?
Oh, he didn't even make it into Q3. I think he ended up 13th.
Okay.
Yeah. So that alone says to me, what the fuck is he still doing in the sport?
He finished 10th, so he finished in the points.
Yeah, only because a couple of people before him retired or crashed out. But if he retires at this stage, Red Bull don't have anyone to replace him other than Danny Ricciardo.
Oh, it's a bit of a stretch, don't you think? Do you think they'll put Danny Rick back in Perez's seat?
Would they do it for a year?
Probably, until they find a permanent.
Because 2026, everything changes again. So would they go out?
So everyone keeps saying it's changing. What is actually changing?
Mate, all the regulations are changing. The cars are changing.
Like
Everything's
what? Like
changing.
what is that?
Okay.
Let's get me a list out.
Let's bring it up, okay? So this is what I'm saying. Like, I still have that little bit of hope that Danny Rick does still have a bit of a future in the sport. I don't think I believe he's not ready to leave the sport. And I still think he's got a lot to offer. I mean, look at last night, man. His team fucked him up hard.
Got the fastest lap,
Right?
bro.
Yeah. But they fucked him up hard. 3 goddamn pit stops. Some teams only made 1 pit stop. He made 3 damn pit stops, right? He didn't need to make 3 pit stops. They made him pit 2 laps before the race to put on fast tires to try and get the fastest lap. Now, he got the fastest lap of the race, and he deducted 1 point from the race winner, Lando, who had the fastest race. We're going to get to that in a second, but regulations are changing.
Why do you do that?
In F1 2026. All right, here we go. So, from 26 onwards, Formula One will have more agile cars, which are 30 kilograms lighter and thus better able to battle on track. A redesigned power unit featuring increased battery power and an even split between internal combustion engines and electric power, plus the use of 100% sustainable fuels. Active aerodynamics in the form of movable front and rear wings to allow for closer racing.
So it's like pretty much DRS permanently. Is that what you're saying?
Increased overtaking opportunities through the introduction of new system that gives drivers a short burst of additional battery power when within a second of a car in front. So like additional boost to DRS. Improved safety through stronger structures and even tougher tests. Commitment from a record number of 6 power unit manufacturers. So basically more options on where to buy your power unit from and who to use, what brand to use. The revised technical regulations have been sent out by FIA, paving the way for them to be revealed in Montreal this weekend. So this is a bit old, but that's basically what it is. So the cars are changing. The engines are changing. It's going to be more battery-powered sport, and they have to use sustainable fuels.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so new power systems, new DRS systems. So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Well, I hope Danny Rick gets the nod for the first team.
Now, last week when McLaren shone over in the race that Piastri won, what was the last race? God, man, my memory today, honestly, like I've just had this real shocker of a weekend. Past races. Oh, yeah, Azerbaijan. Yeah, Azerbaijan, where Piastri won by a country fucking mile.
And now Norris won by a country fucking mile.
So Red Bull last week came out and made a complaint, an official complaint to FIA,
For what?
basically saying that they're using illegal wings on the back and front, right?
Who, McLaren?
McLaren. So Red Bull and Mercedes both complained. FIA then went and did their assessment on the car. They randomly went and did Piastri's car, and they checked it all out and said, no, absolutely not. There is nothing illegal on this car. So this week, got to laugh at this shit. It's just fucking power play politics. So this week, Red Bull Racing Bulls send out Ricciardo to do the fastest lap with the last lap of the race. He gets it, and that removes one extra point from Lando. So if Lando keeps winning every single race to the end of the year, including the sprint races, and Verstappen ends up second in every single race and the sprints, they will be equal points at the end of the season. Right?
Yeah.
Absolute equal points at the end of the season.
So what happens
So
there?
that 1 point last night for the fastest lap could determine the world championship.
Yeah, but if they finish on equal points, what happens? Is it a joint championship?
Well, yeah, they'd have to share the championship, or would they? I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Would it be an equal championship, or would it be a like a sudden death race or something?
Sudden death race.
There have to be.
What happens?
Remember, was it Cars? The cartoon Cars?
Yeah, but it's a fucking
Where they had a
cartoon
three-way tie for the championship, and they had to do like a sudden death race.
game. I don't fucking, yeah.
But then again, that is NASCAR, so I don't know.
what happens?
But listen to this. McLaren wants a review of Red Bull RB relationship after the peculiar Ricciardo fastest lap. McLaren team boss Andrea Stella has called for the relationship between Red Bull and RB to be addressed after Daniel Ricciardo's peculiar fastest lap at the Singapore Grand Prix, which took a point away from winner Lando Norris. Have a fucking cry, you dickhead. Like, seriously? So, McLaren is part of the reason why Daniel Ricciardo's career has been destroyed. And then you come out with this bullshit. Like, just because he did this proves that he still is a fucking top quality driver. But he just is in a shit team and a shit car.
Yeah. You put him in a decent team and a decent car, he'll be all right. Yeah, if there's what happens if two drivers tie the F1 championship in a dead heat, prize and points are added together and shared equally for all the drivers who tie.
Okay, so there's no sudden death race or... All right.
I'd like to know how many drawn F1 championships there's been.
Yeah, so Danny Ricciardo. But anyway, Oscar Piastri ended up third. He had a ripper race. It's good to see the McLaren boys having some success after years of domination from Red Bull and Mercedes.
Bit of breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is good. This is good stuff.
Hey, mate, don't
But
worry.
yeah.
Ferrari's not too far behind either.
Ferrari's doing really good. Mate, if we look at the current standings, right? I've got them right here.
Yep.
So in the drivers' championship, Verstappen 331, Lando Norris 279, Leclerc 245, Piastri 237. That's your top four drivers.
Not bad.
All right, that is not bad at all. Then you got Sainz on 190 and Hamilton on 174, like whatever. Perez 144. Constructors Championship, it grew even more for McLaren, 516 points. Red Bull Racing 475, Ferrari 441. There's a very big possibility that Ferrari could go second in the Construction Championship.
I reckon they will.
So yeah.
I reckon they will. So with the constructors championship, is it pretty much just like whatever points the
It's where the drivers place on the grid.
Yeah, but
if they both end up in the top 10, then they get the accumulated points. So
but is it like, so say if I don't know the point? So what is it? 25 points for first and 18 for second.
yeah,
So is it
they combine those two
combine
together.
those two? Like so,
Yep.
if Red Bull have first and second, they combine 25
Correct.
and 18, and that's what gives the constructors points. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
So yeah,
We'll see.
crazy.
All right.
I think you know what? That's a really nice short episode today.
Yep.
Keep it nice under the wraps. Last week was a really good episode. I enjoyed last week. Michael Pish was quite good to talk to about his cruising.
I can now confirm that I have signed up at Revo Gym at Woodville, and I did call. Yeah.
Hang on.
Thank you. Now, no, hold that one, right? So I have said to look, I'm pretty flat out at work at the moment, so I've signed up. I haven't been yet, and I did call Michael, and I said to him, "You have until the end of the month to get your affairs in order." Right? Because I said to him, "We've got 5:30 starts, mate. That's it. 5:30 starts in the morning."
P.S. I really need you to come paint my door.
Yeah, you did send me.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to go out and look for someone else.
Oh no! Don't say that. Yeah, but that
I have a very unhappy wife at home.
Sorry, Steph.
I don't know, man. It's just
I don't know what's
the
going on
brand
there.
new frame is like just
So
Yeah.
you know what I reckon. So even if it's because it's not siliconed on the tile. Yeah, but is that on the carpet side or the tile side?
yeah, it's on the carpet side. But yeah, anyway, I'll explain it to you. I don't want to
Talk shop.
talk shop on the pod. Couple more people reached out this week, bought some t-shirts. So you're going to see some wonderful things walking around the streets of Adelaide.
So my cousin, he's got chicken shop, Select Chickens at off, is it Bridge Road there?
Hello, cousin.
Cousin Greg, cousin Greg Coetzee, yeah, mate. Yeah, so he's got Select Chickens at Para Hills, and he rang me the other day and he goes, "Mate, someone walked in to my shop wearing your t-shirt."
Oh.
I'm like, "Did they?" I go,
Wasn't me.
Happen to catch his name?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "But he was saying that he enjoys our podcast." And then Greg goes to him. He goes, "Yeah, my cousin's Stamati, and he's got a mate on there too." And he goes, "But I like." My cousin said to the guy, he goes, "Yeah, but I like Valandi better anyway on the podcast." Oh, fuck off, Greg. Just trying to be all fucking nice and shit. So fuck you, Greg. But yeah, no. So it was pretty good hearing that. The t-shirt's getting around.
It is, yes. So thanks to the people that bought some t-shirts. And you guys can buy your t-shirts.
Yes, you can.
TwoBlokesInAPod.com or reach out to us on any of our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, at Two Blokes in a Pod. And they are $35 and they're going straight to, the proceeds are going straight to mental health. Next week, I want to discuss something that we previously have discussed on this podcast, but I want to elaborate a little bit more on it about a particular person and past guest that we've had on here.
You want to give us a bit of a preview?
No, not really. Not really.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that for next week. I'll talk to you off air about it. But thanks, guys. Have a good one. All the best,
guys.
and have be good until the next episode, I guess.
See you guys.
All right, ciao.